Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Here are our power rankings for after week 4 of the NFL season and doing a little brainstorming about how we're going to do this. So, before, if you remember week 1, we did it. I was just talking into a camera. Then I think we did the same thing for week number 2. Week 3, we moved on to this system where I think it was a lot better, but we went like tier by tier by tier. This time, I think we're just going to go straight up by the order of which the games are on ESPN. So I think that's a lot easier. We're going to get through things a lot faster. So if this is your first time here, we rank every single team and we rank the teams from these categories. Dookie Booty Cheeks. These are the worst of the worst teams. You do not want to be a fan of these teams. Booty Cheeks. Trash. Fix something and we'll talk. So this team has like one little thing that's wrong with them, and if they fix it, we'll talk about moving you up the list. Mid. Frisky. This team is a playoff team. We have championship contender, and then we have our number 1 overall GOAT of the week. So we are just going to start breaking it down, and I'm going to go through just ESPN. It's going to be a lot easier because before I was doing like random and stuff like that. We're going to go through each game. So we're going to start it off first with the Cardinals versus the Seahawks. So we'll start it off with the Arizona Cardinals, who did lose to the Seattle Seahawks 20-23. And the way that the Arizona Cardinals looked in that first half, I mean, we all thought that Marvin Harrison Jr. was a fraud. I thought that Kyler Murray was dead in the water because the new Call of Duty's coming out. But for some reason, they figured it out in the second half. I'm going to put them in the frisky category. This is a team right now that I know they have a lot of injuries, but I feel like once they start putting it all together and figuring it out, I do think that this is a team that you're not going to want to mess with. Now, all of their running backs are hurt. James Conner's hurt. Trey Benson just got hurt. So their starting running back right now was Michael Carter and Amari DiMercato. Listen, nothing against them, but not really people that you fear too much. So I'm going to put them in the frisky category because I do like their defense, and I do like if Kyler Murray, and we saw what Marvin Harrison Jr. and him can do towards the second half of that game. So I do like the Arizona Cardinals to be in the frisky category. And then for playoffs, I have the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks are 1,000%. They're impressing me right now. I didn't think that they were going to be this good, and yet somehow they're putting together wins. They're putting together they're 3-1, so they're obviously doing something right, and they beat another team on this list that I think is a playoff contender. So yeah, I really like the Seattle Seahawks. They look good. They did fall off again because the Cardinals had a good second half. The Seahawks kind of fell off a little bit. Listen, they still won the game, and it's hard to win in the NFL. I really liked the Seattle Seahawks this year. Moving on, we had our Dublin game, which was the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Minnesota Vikings. We'll start off with the Minnesota Vikings. Right now, I'm going to put them in the frisky category because, I think their defense is good. I think they have a good offense when their offensive line is healthy, and they do have a get-right spot this week versus the Cleveland Browns. There's just a lot of injuries that are going on with this team right now, and yes, they were seemingly going to get destroyed by the Pittsburgh Steelers in that Dublin game, but just like the Arizona Cardinals in the second half, they kind of figured it out. And then Carson Wentz kind of did the Carson Wentz thing. I don't think this team is going to get any higher than this because I think that they are limited due to the quarterback position. I think it was a big mistake for them to get rid of Sam Darnold. I'm not a huge believer in J.J. McCarthy when he comes back and is healthy, and I'm not a huge fan of Carson Wentz. So right now, I like what the Vikings can do. The Vikings are going to beat up on some bad and mid teams. They destroyed the Cincinnati Bengals a few weeks ago. They ran into a team that is a lot better than the Cincinnati Bengals, and they obviously lost. But again, they do have a get-right spot versus the Cleveland Browns. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, I'm putting them in the playoff category. The way that their defense got better, I understand, again, that the Vikings had a ton of injuries across the board. Aaron Rodgers looked good. He's getting the ball out quick. That's how this offense needs to evolve. Kenneth Gainwell, everybody over in Ireland thinks he's the next Barry Sanders. The dude ran wild. They think that DK Metcalf is the next Megatron. Listen, I like what I'm seeing from the Pittsburgh Steelers right now. If Aaron Rodgers can continue to get the ball out fast and the defense is able to take advantage of, lesser tier offensive lines, and that's what they did. What you're supposed to do when you're playing a team that's struggling is absolutely dominate them, and that is what the Steelers did versus the Minnesota Vikings. So I like what the Steelers did 1,000%, and they're in the playoff category for me. Now, we have the Giants versus the Chargers. So the Chargers end up losing that game versus the Giants, and I'm not going to put a ton of stock into that loss. Listen, there was a lot that went into it. I'm still going to have the Chargers in the playoff category. Um, that's just a game that you 1,000,000% have to win, but I'm not going to down on them too much about losing that game. It was the first game for Jackson Dart. Malik Neighbors ended up getting hurt, so they were just cam scatterbooing all over the field. Now, if they lose another game like this, I am absolutely dropping them down the list. I mean, they were an undefeated team versus a team that hasn't won a game all year, and they ended up losing. But, that's one of those things where they had to fly across the country. I'm going to give them a pseudo pass for that, but listen, if you look bad in this next week game that you're playing, I'm 1,000% dropping you down the list. And then for the New York Giants, listen, I still got to put you guys in the booty cheeks categories. I get that you had a big win. You lost Malik Neighbors. Jackson Dart, he did look good in his first start, but you guys are still a very booty cheeks team right now. I think this was like one of those once-in-a-lifetime type wins for you guys this year. You lost Malik Neighbors, and it's not going to get any easier than that. Unfortunately for you Giants fans, you guys won. I like Cam Scatterboo. I like Jackson Dart. They are the 1-2 punch of the league. I made memes and tweets about them all week. I am a huge Cam Scatterboo guy. I may be getting a jersey here soon, but you guys are still very booty cheeks, in my opinion. And this is just one of those games where any given Sunday, and I think teams now are going to be like, oh, this team is capable of actually beating us with Cam Scatterboo and Jackson Dart. We're going to have to actually play. And whenever that happens, you guys are screwed. Moving on, we're going to talk about the next game, which is the Tennessee Titans versus the Houston Texans. Houston Texans, for me, they're trash. This is a game that they 1,000% had to win, and they did, and they shut out the Tennessee Titans. It's hard to get a shutout in the NFL, but what I'm seeing still from their offensive line, and if they played any other team in this game, I feel like they may have lost, honestly. I don't like the offensive line. I don't know what's going on with CJ Stroud. They're better than what they've been in previous weeks. They got a big win. That's all you can say. But they are still a very trash team right now. The Houston Texans are not on a great trajectory. I think if they played any other team in the NFL last week, any other team, they probably were going to lose. And then the team that they lost 26-0. Dookie Booty Cheeks is going to be the Tennessee Titans, and even Cam Ward said so. This team is not very good. You played a trash team, and you got destroyed by a trash team. You guys, it's going to take a little bit of time for you guys to really figure it out. And, there's really not much else to say. I like Cam Ward. It's going to take maybe a year or two for him to really get his legs under him. He actually has a worse start to the season through the first 4 games than what Will Levis did, and we all saw what happened with Will Levis. He stinks. Moving on, we're going to talk about the next game, which is the Commanders. The Commanders versus the Falcons. The Washington Commanders lose after the previous week. They got a big win with Marcus Mariota, and we kind of just see that Marcus Mariota they need Jaden Daniels back. That's all we'll say. They need Terry McLaurin back. Deebo Samuel does look good, but this offense is sputtering a little bit, and the defense is old. The defense is very old. So as of right now, I'm going to put the Washington Commanders in the frisky category, but they 100% can move up and down. I think Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin are coming back this week, so they'll be perfectly fine in that regard. But as of right now, as it stands, the Washington Commanders, even when Jaden Daniels was in the game, he did kind of struggle a little bit. Is it a sophomore slump situation? I don't know. I guess we'll see. But I am going to have them in the frisky category. And then for a playoff team for me right now, I'm going to have the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons are looking pretty good. I know that they're only 2-2, but this is a game that they kind of figured it all out. And the only reason why I have this team in a playoff position right now is because of the division that they play in. The Saints suck, the Panthers suck, and they really only had to contend with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in this division. But this was a game where everything seemingly came together for them. Drake London got going, Kyle Pitts got going, Bijan Robinson got going, Michael Penix Jr. I mean, this is what you expect whenever you have all of these high draft picks, if you are a Atlanta Falcons fan and they finally put it all together, and the way that they looked the way that they looked on Sunday, they are a playoff team in my opinion. We'll see. They can move up and down the list, but on a week-by-week basis right now, I really like what the Atlanta Falcons did. They are a playoff team in my opinion. The Saints versus the Bills. The Saints, they really hung in this game. They, for some reason, well, first of all, they covered the spread. I had the Saints in this game. It was plus 15, so credit to me for taking that. 15 was just way too many points in this game. But listen, the Saints, I don't know if they're either dookie booty cheeks or booty cheeks. If we're going just based off this week, they are still just booty cheeks. They held their own versus the Buffalo Bills. Now, they did lose 31-19, but it got to a point where I think Josh Allen was like, wait, who are we playing? We're playing the Saints, and who am I? Oh, right, I'm Josh Allen. I am not letting the Saints team beat me up. Josh Allen did the thing, and Josh Allen took over the game. It was closer than the experts thought. Yeah, the Saints, though, they're still 0-4, but the way they played, I feel like if the Tennessee Titans would have played that Bills team, they probably would have lost 50-0. The Saints held in that game. They look good. And then for the Buffalo Bills, obvious champion contender right now. Josh Allen did the Josh Allen thing where he became Josh Allen, took over the game. He was like, hey, why are we struggling versus this absolutely ass team? Josh Allen took over the game. And, that's really all you could say. This Buffalo Bills team, they have big wins on their schedule already. This is just one of those games that I feel like they kind of lulled, where I'm sort of giving a pass, like I said, to the Chargers, because the Chargers lulled in this game, and they lost, but it's one of those things where it's like, hey, we're playing a bad team. We can kind of just cakewalk through this. The Buffalo Bills, they didn't have to travel across the country or anything like that, so they did get a big win versus the Saints. Sorry, I have the hiccups right now. But the Buffalo Bills, still a championship contender, even though they struggled for a little bit versus the Saints. This game right here was crazy. It was absolutely nuts, and it was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, in my opinion, not championship contender. They are a playoff team right now. This was a reverse of what happened a few weeks ago for the Philadelphia Eagles, where the Eagles looked like shit in the first half, and then in the second half, they kind of figured it out. This was a reverse. The Eagles looked awesome in the first half, and then in the second half, sucked very badly. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield, when you put him in a position that he can potentially lead a game-winning drive, he's going to drop his nuts on the table. He couldn't do it this week, but this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team, I know they lost Mike Evans, but Emeka Egbuka looks insane. Their running game is a little banged up right now. Ricard White's their new guy because Bucky Irving's hurt, which our sweet prince Bucky Irving, please get better. I like this Buccaneers team, but it seems like they're moving a little bit in the wrong direction right now. This is a big game, but a big game versus obviously the Super Bowl contender, which I'll just tell you guys right now, the Eagles are my GOAT team right now. Until they lose a game, they are going to be my number one overall GOAT team. They just don't lose, and they're winning games where Jalen Hurts had 0 yards passing and 0 completions in the second half. He was 0 for 8. They are having issues right now with their receiving core where A.J. Brown, it seems like he wants out. I don't know what's going on with him, but they're still winning games. They have Saquon Barkley. They have Jalen Hurts, and part of my take was talking about this. The Philadelphia Eagles could not throw the ball all year. They could refuse to throw the ball. They could only run it with Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley. They would still be an over 500 team. They are just that physically dominant, and yeah, they absolutely got cooked in the second half. 0 yards and 0 completions, and still won the game. That they are still my number one overall GOAT team. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, still a playoff team in my opinion. Once they start getting Chris Godwin and stuff back, and they start getting a little bit more healthy, they will definitely figure it out. Again, they just played the best team in all of the NFL, so it's hard to really, hold that against them. Moving on, we're going to talk about the Browns versus the Lions. Cleveland Browns, dookie booty cheeks. They are not good. Their defense, they faced a good team. They faced a bandsaw of a team, which was the Detroit Lions, and they got exposed. And now they're moving away from Joe Flacco and going to Dylan Gabriel, and they have to play against the Minnesota Vikings. I think they're going to get buzzsawed in this game over in London. The Cleveland Browns are not a good team right now. It's time for them to start thinking about their next quarterback of the future, and I think they're doing that right now, seeing what they have in Dylan Gabriel, and then maybe going to Shedeur Sanders. But right now, he's still the quarterback 3, and there's a whole controversy with him. I think the Cleveland Browns are evaluating to see, hey, do we need to take a quarterback in this next draft? They're probably going to end up taking Drew Aller, which is going to be a huge mistake because that guy sucks. But Cleveland Browns right now, not a good team. Doogie Booty Cheeks. And the Detroit Lions, absolute championship contender. I'm going to say it every single week. I am so sorry, Dan Campbell. Listen, I thought that you guys were frauds. I really did. I thought you guys were frauds after your week 1 loss versus the Green Bay Packers. But yeah, I am very, very sorry that I doubted you. Yeah, the Lions are the Lions. There's not much else I can say. Huge win versus the Cleveland Browns, 34-10. That's all you could do is beat up on bad teams, and they did that. And again, Dan Campbell, I'm so sorry. Please don't hold it against me. I didn't know what I was saying. The New England Patriots versus the Panthers. New England Patriots got a dominant win versus the Panthers, but the Patriots, for me right now, they're still just a mid team. They beat up on the Panthers, which we'll just tell you right now, they're Dookie Booty Cheeks. Listen, after losing to the Pittsburgh Steelers, this is a game that you had to win, and they did it in dominating fashion. It's just, I want to see them do it against a good team. They haven't beaten, like, a good team yet. What is their actual, like, who did they beat so far? They lost to the Raiders, they beat the Dolphins, and they beat the Panthers. They haven't beaten a good team yet, in my opinion. So right now, they are just absolutely mid. Yeah, the Patriots, they're going to beat up on these bad teams. They're probably going to end up 500, and they may sneak their way into a wild card spot. And then the Panthers, how are you getting beat down this bad? 42-13. That is terrible. I can't believe you guys even have a single win on the season. Yeah, the Panthers are bad, and is it time for them to move on from Bryce Young? It's bad. It's very bad for the Panthers right now. They suck. Straight up, they suck, and they are Dookie Booty Cheeks right now. They look worse than the Saints. They look worse than the Giants. They are absolute garbage. Absolute garbage. Moving on to our next game. Sorry, I lost my list here. We have the 49ers versus the Jags. You know, the Jags, I don't know if I want to put them in. So I'm going to put the 49ers in mid because they are just riddled with injuries right now. They lost Ricky Pearsall. They're finally getting back Brock Purdy. They aren't getting Brock Purdy back today. So they are just still mid. They hung in there versus the Jaguars team that, I'm going to put them in mid as well. This was just mid versus mid. I like what the Jaguars are doing. They're getting a little bit better on the offensive side of the ball. They really need to get Travis Hunter involved. You gave a significant investment to get him, and for some reason, it's not working out right now. He has like 3 catches on the season. I feel that the Jaguars have more of a potential to move down than the 49ers. The 49ers have more of a potential to move up just because of all of their injuries. But listen, the Jaguars, they won the game. That's all you can really do. Big win for them. The San Francisco 49ers, I feel they'll be okay. They'll get healthy. They're always riddled with injuries, but when Kyle Shanahan is your coordinator, they could have Nathan Peterman as their quarterback, and I still think they'll be a mid team, in my opinion. So once they get everybody back and healthy, they definitely have the potential to move up the list. This was just a mid versus mid game, in my opinion. The Colts versus the Rams. So the Colts finally face like a team that is kind of on the same level as them. I am going to put the Rams right now in championship contender. Puka Nacua himself, I mean, the dude is insane. Their running game is insane. They have a good defense. They held Danny Dimes, who was potentially the golden boy of the NFL, to 20 points. They look great. I love what I am seeing from the Los Angeles Rams. And the Colts, they played a good team and they lost. But the Colts, I'm not going to completely drop them out of contention because of that. They played a good team. They just got to get a little bit better, and I think that they will. I think they'll start figuring out a little bit better. And this is a team that I think can get better as the season goes on because Jonathan Taylor, they have a good running game. They have a very strong running game. And Danny Dimes is putting the ball where it needs to go for the most part. I mean, he kind of struggled a little bit in this game. I still think the Colts right now, as they're playing right now, are a playoff contending team. And the Rams are a championship contender. They look awesome. I really like the Rams so much. Puka Nacua, I think if they played in the Super Bowl, it has the potential of being Super Bowl MVP. The dude, I mean, 12 catches, like 180 yards? That's insane. He made Xavier Howard retire. That's how bad he beat up on him. I love the Rams. They are such a good team. They are a championship contender. And I'm not going to fault the Colts too much for losing this game, only by 7. Yeah, they're still a playoff contending team, in my opinion. Here is a game, this next game, where, listen, I don't like either of these teams. I really don't. It was the Chiefs 37, the Ravens 20. The Ravens defense sucks. Last week I had the Kansas City Chiefs, I believe, in Frisky. I'm gonna keep them there. I am going to keep them there because, listen, they won. They beat up on a team that I'm gonna put and fix something, and we'll talk. The Ravens have a huge problem right now, and their defense sucks. Lamar Jackson got hurt. He's now out for a few games. There is some things that need fixed with this Ravens team, a team that I thought was potentially one of the best rosters in all of the NFL. What is going on with them? And listen, the Kansas City Chiefs, they got to win, but I'm still not convinced on them right now. They're able to beat up on bad defenses, but their wins this year are who? The Ravens, who have a bad defense, and the Giants, who are booty cheeks. I'm just going to have the Kansas City Chiefs and Frisky right now. Now, are they absolutely going to be able to move up to here? Can the Ravens absolutely move up to here? Yeah, 1,000% they can. The Ravens have had a very tough schedule. I'm not going to hold that against them. And their schedule gets easier as the season goes on. But right now, this team is not good. This is not a good football team right now, and they need to get better. Yeah, they need to get better. Our next game was the Bears versus the Raiders. I'm gonna put the Bears in the same category as the Ravens. Fix something and we'll talk. Caleb Williams is getting better, but I feel that this is not what we were expecting from this offense. We expected them to be much more high-flying, and I feel if they start figuring out that offensive side of the ball, you saw that Ben Johnson was getting pissed off at reporters on the sidelines that things needed to change. And they're not wrong. Things do need to change. They need to fix something, and they can obviously get better as a team. Now, they did win, and that's all you can do, but they struggled in this game, and they have potential to lose this game. And the Raiders right now, I'm just going to have in trash. Ashton Genty went back to his old stance and had like 138 yards rushing. So good for them. They look better. Geno Smith still just isn't the guy. Geno Smith is not a very good quarterback right now. And regardless of who they have as his predecessor, they're still just a trash team in my opinion. I like that they got the running game going, but they lost this game, and yeah, just not good. And the Bears, they really need to fix something and figure it out. And if they do, they can move up, but they also have the potential to move down and be booty cheeks. The Dallas Cowboys versus the Packers. So the Packers right now, their last couple games, they lost their last game to, who was it? They lost their last game to the Browns, and then they tied this game versus the Cowboys. The Packers, for me right now, do I think that they are better than all of these teams up here? I don't. I am going to put the Packers in the frisky category. They look dominant through the first couple weeks, and for some reason, something is just not clicking with it was their offense that couldn't figure it out in that Browns game, and then their defense that was supposed to be elite led up 40 points to the Dallas Cowboys. And we know what the Dallas Cowboys are, so I'm going to put the Dallas Cowboys and fix something, and we'll talk, because the Dallas Cowboys, they need to fix their defense. We know that for sure. Yeah, this is just one of those things that the Green Bay Packers are on the wrong path, and I think the Dallas Cowboys we know who they are. And this game ended in a tie. We need to get rid of ties in the NFL, but the Green Bay Packers are not on the right trajectory, and we know what the Dallas Cowboys are. Dallas Cowboys need to fix their defense, and Green Bay, I don't know what's wrong with them. 1 week their offense looks bad, 1 week their defense looks bad. Maybe they could finally, again, put it all together like they did in the first 2 weeks. They beat the Detroit Lions, and the Detroit Lions are skyrocketing the rankings right now. Yeah, the Green Bay Packers, they gotta figure this out. They really gotta figure this out. And moving on to these last couple games that were absolutely terrible, and I'm gonna tell you right now, the first game we're gonna talk about is the Jets versus the Dolphins. Listen, both of these teams are dookie booty cheeks. They suck. They are not good teams whatsoever. This was trash no, not even trash. This was poop versus poop. These teams suck. Justin Fields coming back looked good, but you can't be losing to the fucking Miami Dolphins if you're a Jets fan. And then also dookie booty cheeks. Listen, I don't care if Joe Burrow's hurt. The Cincinnati Bengals suck. They're so bad. They are not a good team whatsoever. And then to round it all off, the team that beat them, the Denver Broncos. I don't know whether I want to put them in frisky or whether I want to put them. I'm gonna put them. They may just be mid. Who are their last couple? They're 2-2 right now. Who have they beaten so far? Who have the Denver Broncos beaten so far? Yeah, they're mid. They beat the Titans and they beat the Bengals. They're just mid in my opinion. Bo Nix, when he's playing up against good teams, is not figuring it out. He beat up and destroyed the Cincinnati Bengals, which their defense sucks. Their whole team sucks. What we're learning right now from the NFL, there's a lot of terrible teams. There's a lot of terrible trash teams. All these dookie booty cheeks teams. So, yeah, these are my rankings for after week 4 of the NFL season. Let me know what you guys think of these rankings. If you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to like and subscribe and hit that bell notification so you never miss another video. And if you're watching this, I might upload this on Facebook as well. Let me know who you have in all of these rankings. So, yes, thank you guys for watching this video. These are my rankings for after week 4. Be sure to follow us everywhere. We're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, everywhere. Snapchat, YouTube Shorts. You know where to find us, guys. And be sure to listen to our podcast, The Hail Mary. Excuse me. Which comes out every Monday and Friday, so I will be making one tomorrow. Yeah, so listen to that on Spotify, and you can watch it over on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. These are my power rankings after week 4, and I will see you all tomorrow. Peace out, guys. Have a good one.